Okay, good afternoon in Monte Carlo. Bill Riles, Tar Mendocino, Ace Point Backgammon, broadcasting from Monte Carlo, the Backgammon World Championships 2025. Today here on Stream 2, we have a Monte Carlo Open round of 32 match. The Monte Carlo Open is a warm-up event for the World Championship. Have a great pairing, Frank Frigo, two-time world champion, versus Fernando Newmark from Argentina, a superb player, international ambassador to the game, organizes a lot of events in Argentina. So two very accomplished players, so this should be exciting. Now, initially, and maybe throughout here, I don't have access to a laptop or iPad to see the chat, but maybe we can remedy that. The resources are spread pretty thin right now. But we certainly appreciate everyone tuning in to this match. Now, over on Stream 1, beginning in 30 minutes or so at 13:30 local time, the UBC contender match or series of matches will continue with Zdeněk Ziska and Thomas Muir. So they played 4 matches yesterday. It's a 4-4 score, and the PRs were supernatural at 2.11 and 2.31 cumulatively. So here we have Fernando Newmark playing black checkers at the top of the board on the left of the player cam. And on the right of the player cam, bottom of the board, white checkers, Frank Frigo from the United States, two-time world champion. So,
checker, right?
I don't think so. Not for the.
Yeah.
So this should be fun.
Double check.
We've got a new Galaxy board that they're just, it's kind of a, I don't know, demo type board. They're looking at, they just received some of these as samples. They're looking at introducing these. So it's, you know, fairly striking board on the stream, and nice color differentiation between the checkers and pips, so we shouldn't have any problems here. Okay, so again, Fernando and Frank, this will be fun. Now this Monte Carlo Open again is the warm-up event for the World Championship, and actually, ultimately, these guys are playing for some pretty good bucks. I think first place in the Monte Carlo Open is like $18,000 or something. Second is $8,500 or something. And then a side pool, which I think both of these guys are in the side pool, is fairly substantial. I looked this morning, but I don't recall. It's in the $8,000 to $9,000 range. So whoever ultimately wins this tournament without hedging and hedging considerations, if any, we'll be looking at about a 25 grand first prize. So nice. Okay, so Fernando has gotten the advanced anchor in Frank's board and slided to 5 to begin a little construction work on his side. Frank hits the checker on the 20 to send a fourth checker back for Fernando, and preclude Fernando immediately making that his own 5 point. So Frank got some blots out there, but avoids any of them being hit. So let's see what Fernando decides to do here. He's probably going to hit and slot again. He needs that, needs to get something going on his side of the board defensively. Okay, here's Frank could hit it. Now, does he put another blot in play, or does he come out to the 14? Comes out to the 14. So, okay, at least Fernando, he's got 5 back, but he does have 2 anchors. So, he should be in the game for the long haul here. Trying to decide what he wants to do with the 6. He's going to take it to the 7 point. So, again, he'll have 3 builders on that 4 point, 5 point. Things of that nature, and perhaps even have the opportunity to make the 6 point. Now Frank makes the 4 and will come to the 8. Fernando hoping to pick up that checker on the 16. Does not, but he can bring that spare all the way around, I would suspect, and add yet another builder to the collection on his side. No, he can go ahead and make the 7. He's, he's got 4 checkers back. If he gets the 5th one hit again, he's only recirculating checkers, which, adds to his timing a bit. Y'all will excuse me. I'm kind of fighting off a little bit of a cold here, and may have a itchy throat on occasion and a cough on occasion, so y'all please forgive me. But okay, right at the 6-1, not particularly good distribution here. Over 2 for Fernando. Again, he's got a 2-5 game and fair timing on that 2-5 game. Frank, kind of not a lot of flexibility in this roll. 5-4, he'll go to the 4. Yeah. So still limited flexibility on his next roll. Fernando's going to be in a construction zone in his home board there. Slots the 4, brings the builder to the 6. Frank still working with that limited flexibility. Another 5-4. This gets, geez, about all he can do is go to the 4 again, which just adds, it's even less flexibility now. His next roll is going to be interesting. Okay, so Fernando makes the 4, and now he's going to probably play 6-5 to maximize his distribution and pointing potential on the 3-point as an example, but he chooses to go, well, preliminarily, he chooses to go 7-6 and does that. So he may get an immediate shot here, and he doesn't necessarily, but man, is it awkward for Frank. I don't know, can I? Yeah. Okay, so Frank, 5-4, 5-4, 6-3, all these 9s, and none of them particularly play very well. He can clear the 6, but man, that's really awkward. He's going to give him the shot here, which serves 2 functions. One, he gets the checker down, and it also, Fernando, if he hits it, he has to give up that forward anchor to do so. So he misses that. So Frank should finally, perhaps, and I'm sure he feels that way, have a decent role to play with. 5-4 is going to the ace. Yeah, he just had a series of unstellar rolls. 4-1. Fernando going to go to the 8 and the 7, I suspect. He could slot on the 3, but with an immediate shot. Is there an immediate shot? Maybe not. So he's going to go this way, which was my immediate direction. He could have started on the slotting on the 3, but okay. So Frank, he's counting this up, pondering his situation. I don't think, he still has inflexible position. Another 5-4. Now this is a shot somewhere. Probably going to make the ace and go to the 3, I suspect. It could make the 3, but then it's a double shot. So I suspect he makes the ace, goes to the 3, but then he's really awkward next roll if Fernando were to miss him on his next roll. It's been just a very difficult sequence for Frank here over the last 4 or 5 rolls. Okay, so he's going to do this, give him the 1 shot. There's the 1 and a 6. Nice shake by Fernando. Not only hits, but then allows him to extricate one of those checkers, which. So, here you go. Okay. Frank did ultimately got hit there and still riding the rail. For Fernando brings those two out. So Frank's reaching rather dire straits here. I suspect Fernando may look at cashing this on the next roll. Behind in the race, but the structure is just horrible for Frank. Rolls on. You just flood the outfield, spread them all around to maximize containment. Should Frank enter, I wouldn't personally. I wouldn't run with that 23 point. I'd do something like this. Frank can't roll a set that hits you. Now, there's a decision for Frank. He can go to the ace, or he can go to the deuce, putting him in the air. But if he gets hit, then Frank at least he'll have two back, but he has the opportunity to make an anchor. Well, he's going to eschew that potential. Fernando. You know, he's evaluating whether to send a cube. He's in an extremely strong position. Frank would pass in a heartbeat, I suspect. Fernando's trying to evaluate if there's a chance to pick up a second checker. I got to think this was closer to too good than no double. So let's see what Frank does with this.
It's okay. I looked at the 10. I don't see anything.
Well, can you? Okay, Frank takes this. I didn't count it, but I'm a little bit surprised by that. 4-3. Now, again, this is pretty interesting. Now, he can come out and just try to contain and win and totally erase and eliminate any potential of Frank pointing on him in there. Okay, so now Fernando needs to distribute his checkers so he can best contain, say, if Frank were to roll a 2-5 or a 2-6. Okay, so the 2-5. Now he's debating whether to step out, which has 3 directs, or he could go 6-1, but then that potentially offers up a second checker to get sent back. Aces, 3, and now to the 14. Gives him 3 covers to the 8. Correct? Okay. Threes. Okay. Crunches down, but to point board. You know, Fernando will likely attack. He could make the 9, block the 6s, but he'd be vulnerable to 5s escaping. So he's going to hit. Okay, Frank can't do anything with that. Okay. Well, at least Frank has gotten to the point where good fortune could shine his way, but he's also eliminated pretty much the potential of Fernando picking up a second checker. 5. Go to the 4. Bring it here, fewer shots, perhaps. Okay, now Frank has it turned enough to send it back. He's well ahead in the race, but he's got 3 checkers to navigate, trying to get out of this. This is what we call a volatile position. Frank has to evaluate, 1, does Fernando take it? Secondly, how much recube big to an 8 cube Fernando has if Frank doesn't perform with this next roll. So this is kind of a little bit of a question of how much volatility these guys want to play with here. If you can see Frank putting this is a lot of thought into this. This is one of these critical junctures of a match. 2 cubes already in play. There goes the 4 cube. Now, a lot of pressure on Fernando. Frank's way ahead. You know, can he escape that checker? You know, worry to roll a 4, then Fernando gets hit. There's potential that Fernando dances, and then Gammon's come into play. This is this is the textbook case of a volatile position. You know, is this your day? Do you feel lucky? Now Frank's got what? Hits with 4s, 11s and 12s. So that's 11, 13, 14, 16, 17. It's about a 50-50 chance of, whoa, and there it is. Frank doesn't get by, doesn't hit. So now, wow, we may soon see a recube coming back. I didn't get it. Okay, so looky here. Now he can make the 8 point. if he wishes, which he probably does. And then unless Frank rolls a 3-6 or something, then Fernando's going to be sending that cube right back at him here. So here it comes. Frank's going to have to let this go. Yep. So as we said, man, that was a extremely volatile position. Maybe I think a reasonable recube by Frank. Perhaps a more difficult take by Fernando, but certainly not necessarily a bad take by any means. And then Frank rolls the 1-2, which accomplishes nothing, gets hit, and here we are, 4-0 Fernando. Six four, so hit and step up. Early hitting exchange here. Trying to figure out, and I'm sure there's probably a way to do it, but how to get to chat on my phone there. I have to get some instruction from my production manager here in a few minutes, maybe. I think soon we've got UBC final resuming. They're not in the room yet, but very soon. Thomas Muir and Zdenek Ziska. We'll have Justin Noel and Sandra Lilhoff on commentary. Apparently, Mark Olson's a little under the weather today, so. And I'd run into Sander in the lobby this morning, so I knew he was here. Sander is going to be doing commentary with Justin, so that'll be an entertaining, informative commentary session for what is proving to be an incredible series of matches in the UBC final between Zdenek and Thomas Muir here. Roberto decides to let this go. Frank was one in the air. Frank was going to be attacking. Roberto. Is there any way to do that? To get the chat.
No, but not. You don't want to look at it to the side, okay?
Okay, whatever.
Okay, so it's X this out. Oh, you don't have a tap.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't.
Okay, no sweat.
Need to
Okay. Again, I apologize. We've got some kind of widely spread physical resources here, and I don't have an iPad or laptop accessible to me at the moment to interact with the chat, which I love to include with the my commentary and interact with the viewers, but perhaps we'll remedy that later in the week in some fashion. Okay. You know, you've got a huge supply of those in the fridge.
I saw. Looks good. Thank you.
Okay, 3-2. Then it's the question of which 3 or 2 he plays. He's going to thinking of coming in on the 23, and that takes one of those builders, the builder on the 9, away from a direct hit to him, and force him to play a 3, which then of course has to be the 7-4. Set of deuces. Now this is interesting. What does he take? Maybe the, I don't know. You can make the 5 his 20 point. Gonna shift. Okay, and there may well be right. That's and now Fernando has got a second checker vulnerable. He's okay. I see a number of the parties gathering for the UBC final here. We've got Sander in the house. We've got Justin Monteferrer is going to be doing the transcription. ZZ is wandering around here, and I see Thomas Muir behind me in the background sitting there. Okay, he's going to look at okay, so dancing on that, and Fernando sent it his way. So again, we've got one of these volatile positions. Fernando could pick up a second checker. Fernando has a 4-point board, although the 3 and 4 are open, so it's about a 50-50 chance for Frank to come in. 55-45 actually. And wow, trailing 4-1 to an 11-point match. Frank may he lets it go. That was another one of those volatile positions. The first one went against Frank, and he decides not to play that game again. So here we are, 5-1 Fernando. Okay. All of the parties have gone into the room now, so the UBC final is resuming.
Okay, don't start till I tell you to. It'll be about maybe 5 minutes.
Okay, 4-3. Could make the 20 could hit. Typically hitting is hard to go wrong hitting. Okay, so he's forcing the issue a bit. 4-3 for Frank. Now, what does he do? I think he comes in on the 22 and makes the 9. Could make the 20 point, but I don't think that's critical right now. So I think he's going to even force it a little, come in on the 22 and slide on the 5, which is certainly something to be said for that. Ace deuce gets hit. Okay, 3-1. So ace and 3 points for Frank. Okay, Frank takes the 4 point. Fernando, he can hit another, but I think he's got to take that 5 point, unstack those checkers. Has the opportunity to make the golden point, as it is known, and chooses to do so. Frank with 6-5. Now this will be several permutations here to consider. I mean, if he doesn't leave with one of the back checkers, he's stripped the midpoint and has a bunch of checkers here. So this that was a tough call. Dance. So now Frank set of 6s. Now this is going to be interesting. He's got a lot of numbers in play here. So perhaps makes the ace point, puts 2 in the air, and then brings one of those back checkers out. Would be my knee-jerk reaction, but let's see what Frank decides to do. This is, like I said, he's trailing 5-1. He, this is one of those doublets. It's a great joker roll of sorts, and he has a number of options, and that's, to me, the obvious first 3. And the 4th one, he could have done that or off the 22. He chooses to come off the 24. Fernando dances. Now, 2 in the air. I think you play on. Frank decides to cash. I'll defer to Frank. I got to think Fernando's got to let this go. This is bad news waiting to happen. Okay. Now, it's interesting, and we talk about this all the time in timed matches such as this, and at this level where they're both elite players, they recognize the critical positions, the big decisions, and they're not shy about investing time in making the right decision. So Fernando looked at it, he counted it, he considered his various options, and he decides to let it go. You know, he has a 5-1, had a 5-1 lead, so you don't want to jeopardize that necessarily in a single game. So he let it go. Okay, nice set of 1s by Frank. Threes for Fernando. 5-4 coming out, maybe. No, he's going to attack. 2-5. Gets away with it, more or less, which is what he hoped and anticipated. He's duped his threes, though, so, you know, if he rolls a three, he has to choose between the anchor and the 3-point, but he'll be happy to have to make that decision. 6-2 is not exactly ideal. But maybe Double Tiger hits them both. Takes full roll out of Fernando's hand. You know, otherwise, you know, Fernando's got the double shot on the checker on the 3-point. Frank, seemingly to me, from my perspective, is in all three of these 3 or 4 games we've had so far, he's had some really tough decisions thrown this way. So here he does hits one of them, which takes a half a roll out of Fernando's hand. So now Fernando's got the choice of a 6. Come out or slot the bar. Okay, he's thinking about coming out. Again, we're watching the Monte Carlo Open, which is the warm-up event, and every day now more and more players are arriving for the World Championship and all the various events and side events associated with that. And you know, it's really going to be interesting over the next few days to see how many players we have here. Y'all will excuse me here as I indulge in another cough drop. I'm fighting off scratchy throat and a little bit of a cold, maybe. So, we'll note that both of these players have been very thorough in their play and looking at all of the various permutations that are available to them. Frank, I suspect, is going to make the bar here. He could step up, but then, you know, what's he do with that? And again, he's doing what many of us should do. He's playing those doublets in effect, single checker at a time, not necessarily moving them in pairs or groups. Five-two, jailbreak. Frank needs to hit this checker. He does hit it, but at some cost. Four blots abound. Fernando has a very good board over there. Very expressive, emotive face by Fernando as contrasted to Frank's very stoic demeanor over the board. Okay. Not surprising. But from the bar, the double from the bar, but Frank has 4 blots out there. They both have a 4 prime from 5 through 8. So again, it's seems like this is about the 3rd game where we've had extremely volatile positions. Okay, Frank more or less strikes out here. Doesn't hit anything. I don't know about that, but I'm a little bit surprised that a 4-2 by Frank. Nando doesn't want to dance, doesn't dance, and hits. Great shape. Frank 3-1. So has to come in on the 24 and then finds the 3, which is probably coming to the 10, I suspect. Just as soon not have another checker back. Now, Fernando might do this into the 9, I suspect. He's not going to give him the indirect at all. 4-2 by Frank. Guess he'll make the 3-point. Frank's problem is here, he doesn't have the timing that he would like, although that solves a bit of that problem. Double 5s by Fernando. Five, 6. Wow, tough decision. He's going to make the jailbreak while he has the, the great board. Fernando would, would love to point on him, point in front of him, do anything, but he wouldn't be too excited about hitting him loose here. So let's, again, Frank is very thorough looking at his options. So he's moved the 6-5 from 24 to 13, but you can see he's left that checker offset. Good practice to not get confused at times over what the starting position was. So and this is also very good practice. I like it if people are looking at different decisions to take to go back to the starting position after having moved tentatively one checker, not just moving it somewhere else without returning. Okay, 6-2, Frank has to leave. Fernando with a lot of potential here, but that's wasn't exactly what he had in mind. Although he's still quite a bit ahead, 6-5. I think Frank's probably just going to run and leave this game to the dice gods. Fernando doesn't really have too much jeopardy in his next roll. As we suspected. Now, Fernando rolls big. Frank needs to roll big to get back into this game. Frank says, that's more like it. Now, give me something big. Well, we're talking. Okay, so 3-2. 6-4. So Frank's right back into it here. Still the dog, but within sight. 6-1. Deuce is hurt from Frank's perspective. 5-1. Okay, 3-1. So there's probably some misses in Fernando's future with the 1, 2, and 3 points open. There's the 5-1. Now he's going to go 4-3. Yeah. Frank needs big. Frank doesn't get big. So this is extremely likely that Fernando's going to win this game. 3 and a 4, so he's going to the deuce. Yes. 6-1. Probably got to go to the 4. I ensure he gets one checker off in case he gets a roll. He doesn't get a roll. Okay, so 7-2. Fernando Newmark. Well-known, well-traveled player from Argentina. Organizes a lot of tournaments down there, both live tournaments and regular online large tournaments. Travels quite a good bit internationally, and a very, well-known, well-recognized, very, very good player. Frank, two-time world champion, and it's kind of interesting to note. Frank won in 1994 and 2023, so a 29-year time span between his world championships. Now this is an interesting number that we're all come into that situation occasionally. The 6-5, he can do this, run to safety. He could play 22 to 11 and bring that checker all the way around, and that way, well, he's made some progress. Keeps the goalkeeper. Made some progress. I thought you weren't coming in till Monday.
I take the flight.
Great to see you, lady.
Oh, how are you?
Well, Miss Remy Davenport here from New York. Frank and Fernando Newmark. So, well, good to see you.
I just got it.
Okay, no sweat. And I think y'all may be familiar with Remy. She from New York City. Runs a bunch of backgammon events, social clubs, and so forth. Huge number of followers. And my understanding is she was bringing, like, Remy's team, if you will, a number of the people who play in her tournaments here in New York City, like 40 people to Monte Carlo. So that's great. That's contributes a lot to the growth of the game. And Remy, she does all she does in New York, and she's also become something of a fixture at various backgammon tournaments, not only here in Monte Carlo, but others. Excuse me. In the States, she'll be on our staff in New Orleans. She'll be on our staff in San Antonio. She's a New York fixture that you'll see her at the New York Metro tournament, and just one of the new young lifebloods of the game in the States and in the world, for that matter, as evidenced by the fact that she's here on staff and she's brought like 40-something people with her from New York City. So that's great. That's what the game needs. 5-2 for Mr. Frigo. Again, not exactly a joker. Not exactly what he had in mind. Okay. Whatever he does was not going to be attracted by hitting and slotting. He, makes a positive move. I mean, there's always a chance 25% of the time Fernando's going to dance on that 3-point board. So now it's just a question of where's Frank's 5. He can come out to the 18, or he can bring a builder down to the 8. Interesting. I suspect he goes out. He would use one of the two existing checkers on the 8 to make a 4-point or 5-point where he presented that opportunity. 5-6 comes in, hits. Now Frank needs to perform. 4-1 is probably not exactly performing. So what's he do with that? Probably doesn't want to necessarily come to the 20, but he does, because that affords him the chance to play 7-6 with the ace, but gives a lot of shooters at that checker on the 4-point. Now, he doesn't get hit, but Fernando has moved a tremendous amount of freight on that roll. So now Frank needs to proverbially get out of Dodge here. 6-3 doesn't do it. So Frank can make the 4-point. Provides the 4-point board. Fernando counting the race here. 44-36 is 80, 106, 108. 42, 52, 39, 91, and 112. It's like a 4-pip race. You go get that. Okay, I'm sorry. So anyway, he's counted it. It's very. And now I got distracted. Tara said something to me, and I looked over at the other table, but I counted it, and somebody was 4 pips up. And I think it was Frank, and Fernando decides to roll on. Now he's going to make the 3 and make the 2 and make the 3. Now Frank needs to enter. He does, and now, what does Fernando do? Can he play on? Okay, he decided I'm not playing on. I'm just going to try to cash this, which really puts a lot of pressure on Frank. Again, this is kind of a gammon in progress of sorts, or certainly that potential. So, and that gammon in progress and that potential from a 4-away position for Fernando, which makes it even that much more difficult for Frank to consider taking this. You can see the intensity in Frank here. I mean, we've had several of these junctures in this match, like early on with the 4 cube and 8 cube in the first game, and now at this point here in this game. So it's been a very intense competitive match, and Frank's faced with a very difficult decision right here. Okay, he's gonna a good roll here could sink Frank's boat, but now Fernando's gonna hit it, I suspect. No, he lets it ride. He lets it ride. Should have hit it, but now what's he do? One game rollout was not favorable for Fernando there. Again, this is a tough position. Frank could, if he runs out, he sets himself up for getting hit. He's vulnerable to getting hit here, but if he's hit loose, at least he's got returns. If he goes out, he, doesn't. Here, I think, and he's reached to the 8. I think I would play 2 checkers off the 8, but let's see what Frank decides. Okay, he's gonna apparently decided to play it this way now. So he's gonna shift. I think he's got to shift. So then where's the other? I think he plays to the 2-8-7. That way, if Frank enters on 1, he's got a broken 6 prime in front of him. So yeah, that's kind of an obvious play. Frank would have liked that number. And there's the ace we were talking about, which by moving to the 7, Fernando had kind of blocked in some fashion. 3-2. Come 2 down, or does he go to the 7 and 8? 2 down. Vulnerable to the 4-6, but if he were to roll, gives him more builders for the 5 point. maybe you go to the 6. Tempting to pick that checker up from 11-10, but if you move it to move the ace from 7-6, you've got more builders bearing on the ace and the 5, but you take away the potential of the fly shot. So let's see what happens. You know, Frank, by virtue of having come in there and being able to play a few other checkers, is reducing the gammon potential with every roll. So that's a point in Frank's favor with the way this game has played out. Okay, he's uncertain. He takes away the fly shot. Okay, Frank's, I don't know, I'm going to the 5, but, well, he's going to step up, thinking about it, taking it, now again, he's trying to balance game-winning chances against the chances of getting gammoned. The chance of getting gammoned is deadly. The okay, Roberto can't hit it. Now Frank's got some racing equity here. Has a lot more racing equity now. Take it to the 6. Wants to get as many crossovers and efficient crossovers as he can. Now this is pretty close. Gonna go 4-1. Probably play 12-11, I suspect. 3-1, so he's going to play in and probably go 6-5. Needs to unstack that. I don't know. I don't like that so much. Got that heavy, 6 heavy and a single on the 5. Now Frank rolls double 5s. He's back in. If not, not only is he back in, he's probably ahead in this this contest. There's the reship, which Frank, is part of his take considerations. There are several rolls ago when he took that cube that he would have a considerable recube big, and there is the application of that recube big. Now he's got what, 7-12. He's got 3 off. Fernando only has 1 off. Both have not the greatest of distribution, but that relatively equal distribution, and 2 additional checkers off and on roll favors Frank. So got to be a great cube. Got to be a really tough decision by Fernando here. We've in my estimation, we've seen some great cube play in this match, and you can see how that the influences and pressures of the score increase the significance of some of these cubes and recubes. Fernando takes his recube and prevails, the match is over. If he lets it go, he's up, what, 4 away, 7 away. So I'm thinking he's taking. I'm thinking he's leaning to taking, but let's see. In an even money situation, probably it's a drop. But in this situation where, it's a opportunity to win the match, maybe he takes it. Again, they both have plenty of time. Fernando, in effect, has more time because he's closer to winning. But, he's evaluating the various options and permutations here. Justin, how'd that first game go? Huh?
It ended the whole match.
What's that?
One game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who won?
Thomas.
Yeah.
The PR.
And the PR?
Yeah.
Okay. Got a little update here on the UBC final and then game 5, match 5. Thomas won game and the PR, so he's up 6-4. Apparently he won an 8 cube. Okay, so there Fernando takes that 4 cube, which gives him a play for the match here. 6-1. Not a bad shake. Frank's going to go 6-5. I thought he might go to 2-1 to cover that. 6-1. He's going to go 6-5. Okay. 4-5. Fernando playing for the match here. Frank hopes to get back into the match here and is in the advantageous position. Okay. 6-4, nice shake. Frank maintains his advantage. 3-2, not looking good for Fernando. 4-6. So I'm going 6-4. I think I've got to have a most efficient doublets here. 4-1, that's not his best, but didn't hurt him that bad, I guess. 3-1, that conversely hurts Fernando really badly. 5-3, so that's it. So the 4 points goes to Frank. They're going to take a break. Such a well-played match here. 7-6 Fernando. Now they're corresponding breaks here. The UBC is game match 5, just finished a couple of minutes ago. So in 10 or 15 minutes, they'll begin match 6 over on stream 1 with Justin Knoll and Sandra Liloff making the call. And here Frank and Fernando have taken a little break. Fernando leading 7-6 to 11. So great, interesting, entertaining match from my perspective at least, and I hope y'all are finding the same. And now this match will have again, in 10 or 15 minutes, the UBC final match 6 will begin. And also the UBC at 3 p.m. local, which is in a little less than an hour, we'll have a round of 16 match that we'll put on the on stream 2 here. I'll have to go and look at the bracket. I guess I could look at the bracket on my phone here, but I'll be lazy and not. Plus, I'll wait till more of the round of 32 1 p.m. matches are finished. And so we'll see what happens. But we will have another Monte Carlo Open match at 3 p.m., which is 45 minutes from now or something of that nature. And 50 minutes from now. So that'll be fun. So we're really beginning to get geared up for a week of backgammon action here. 1 week from today, Sunday, we will be crowning a new Backgammon World Champion. 7 days. Sanders, something fell out of your pocket as you grabbed the phone. I saw it. It just caught my eye. I don't know what it was, but it caught my eye. Anyway, maybe I was seeing things, but who knows? So, nice breaks for everyone here. Now, hopefully, maybe as early as tomorrow. Could be Monday. No, tomorrow is Monday. Could be Tuesday. We'll have all three streams will be up and going. And now also starting at some hour today, they're having some 8-player qualifiers for the World Championship. And what that entails is that I think 8 players pay $200 each, and 8-man qualifier, and the winner gets his entry into the World Championship based on that win. The others are free to enter another qualifier or free to just pay the full entry. So they, some of them doubtlessly will take the opportunity to try to win the qualifier to get into the World Championship in that fashion. Okay, 4, 5. Again, very, very interesting and entertaining, exciting match. And I think what we've seen here, we've seen some incredible play by both of these gentlemen. And hopefully, and those in the backgammon world, who follow things closely and play on the circuit and things of that nature, or they know who Fernando Newmark is. But hopefully, many others who are not necessarily that familiar with Fernando have been exposed to him and introduced to him, and he deserves that recognition. He's a superb player. So Frank and him both are engaged in a very intense and competitive match here. So this will be interesting. Okay, set of 3s. So Fernando looks like he's just going to take the 3-point and the 5-point and try to go from there. Okay, now, again, I don't have the chat line necessarily in front of me, but we've got 217 people watching. We've had more than that on occasion during this match, and I hope all of y'all are smashing that like button to express our appreciation to the players and all involved, including Backgammon Galaxy and their YouTube channel and their sponsorship of the Backgammon World Championship. So be sure and smash that like button, as Mark Olson likes to say. And it's kind of interesting. You might recall during that last game, I'd commented that by virtue of the score, which was 7-2 at the time, Fernando, in effect, had considerably more time than Frank did. But having won 4 points on the last game, now, they're about equivalent in that regard. So Fernando with 446, Frank with 539. So, and it's 4-way, 5-away. There's potential for it to neither are in time trouble at this juncture, but there's the definite potential that could become more of a factor later in the match. Now Frank will make the 21 point, I suspect. Then it's a question, what do you do with the others? You guys put 2 in the air. Certainly always something to be said for 2 in the air. The dance. Now Frank has got some checker in the air and a lot of ammunition in front of him. Double 6 cock. That would have been nice to play. Six, 4. Now he'll go to the deuce. He's going to come out. Okay. Well, he had actually made the 9 with the 4, so this. Okay. So where do we go from here? So Frank being 5 away, Fernando 4 away. Frank's got to be a little careful with that recube big that is in Fernando's possession. Okay. Of aces. Now, those 2 are obvious. Now, what's he gonna? He's gonna slot the 4, and then it'll be.
Mike for live.
Okay. Stepping up. Makes it a little tougher to bear in against a 3-4 game. He has to pick it up pretty much because of Fernando's spare on the 21. Now, Fernando probably leave that checker on the 13 just to, well, he's bringing it down. I was going to say, he's not too worried about it, and it's a little bit of a thorn in Frank's saddle there. And so he's going to play the 9, go to the ace, I suspect. Go to the 8 and the 2. But I like it the other way to have better distribution of the builders. Very thorough, and again, I love Frank's practice of leaving the checkers that he's moved offset. Great backgammon etiquette, and precludes the confusion of what the original position was if you look at multiple positions. So I like that. And the fact that he now moved him into position means he pretty much decided on that play. Double fives pretty much forced for Fernando. Frank, sixes, that's going to be forced and not in a good way, although Fernando, you know, is a little stretched to take advantage of that. 5-1. He can hit, and he's probably going to have to hit. Doesn't have too many options. So now he'll play 6-5. Well, that takes away the double 2, double 3 joker. 4-1 hits. Nice shake by Frank. Puts 2 in the air. One 6. Frank needs that ace point. Doesn't get it. He can put a second one up and then go 8-6, probably 9-7. I'm thinking, or he could just make the bar point. But let's see what he does. That's the deuce. Now it's just a question of the ace. Do you make the bar point, or do you hit loose on the ace? And of course that would be a second checker in the air, so you don't have to worry too much about combinations as far as getting hit. And Nick, I saw your message, and I'll, as soon as I can get Tara's attention here, I'll have her take care of that. Okay, double threes is a bit awkward. On the view that that I have here, Nick, I don't see that, so I'm looking at it just a pure video, not the stream. Ask Tara to come here. Ask Tara to step up. Tara, ask her to come out here. He deleted the message. Wait. Nick had sent something about saying to take the scrolling chat off of the stream or something. Now I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just passing on to you. Okay, so where are we? Double fours. I apologize. A little brief distraction there. Thank you, Wilson. Okay, 5-1. Frank dances, but Fernando's got a lot of work to do here. 8-3. He could hit the second checker. Kind of interesting. Okay. Okay, Frank needs to make something happen, and he keeps rolling odd numbers. Okay, now what? 4 and 2, play with a single blot? Probably. Okay, Frank would like to see an even number. There's an even number. Okay, and the 5 is going to the ace, all but forced. Fernando 4-3 makes the bar. He could take it on again, but because this way he's totally stripped and rather inflexible on the next roll. 6-1. Interesting number by, I think Frank's going to play to the 13 and make the ace, but let's see what happens. Again, they're both getting thrown some, he's going to clear the 7. Something to be said for that, depending on Fernando's role here. Now, Fernando's probably, I don't know. I suspect he comes out, but no. Okay. His first reaction was not to come out, but let's see what happens. Now that's performance. High performance backgammon. 6-4. Okay. 258 viewers here. Be sure and smash that like button. Got 2 great matches going on here. The UBC final is over on stream 1 with Zdenek Ziska and Thomas Muir playing in the UBC final. Thomas leads 6-4 after five matches, and here we've had just an extremely good match between Frank Frigo and Fernando Newmark. 5-2. Now Frank gets by here. He does not yet, but Frank likely to win this, and Fernando likely not to get Gammon. So 5-3, so that's that. So it's going to be 8-7 Frank. 3-way, 4-way, and we note that they're both under 3 minutes now. So increasingly, they're not in any time danger immediately, but increasingly that's going to become more significant as this next couple of games progress here. Okay. Fernando saves. Probably, what's he got? 12 checkers, so okay, that he can't do it from there. So 8-7 Frank.
Oh shit. Sorry. How do you
You say I had something.
Oh, you
they
already
reset
stopped
the
it, sorry. I
reset the clock.
reset because he had already stopped it.
Tara
I didn't
will
see that
take
it
care of
stopped.
that.
Sorry.
You'll they both, it was like 220 and 250, but I don't remember the exact numbers. Tara can back it up and look at it and reset the clock. So she's the resident production engineer for all of our broadcasts here, and she sitting in there behind the control desk, monitoring everything, both matches that are being streamed at the moment. So she'll back up the recording and see what the exact times were, and then reset the clock for Frank and Fernando, and they can progress. First off, So we've really been treated to a great match here on stream 2:30. So they've been at it an hour and a half, and great match. And then of course some tremendous exciting matches going on stream 1, the UBC final, Thomas Muir and Zdeněk Ziska. You know, and it's interesting, they were tied 4-4 after the first day with 2.11 and 2.31 cumulative PRs. And it's interesting to me, I mean, those who play a lot internationally and so forth knew Thomas Muir well and how good a player he was, but he's probably not as well known and as celebrated as Zdeněk Ziska is. So, you know, I think everyone thought that might be kind of a one-sided final, but others of us thought otherwise. And I think certainly Thomas showed his capabilities yesterday, and doubtlessly greatly increased the interest in that UBC final. And then this morning, apparently in Game 5, he won 2 points, so he's up 6-4. So that's congratulations to him, and looks like that's going to be a long competitive series of matches. First player to 13 points between PR wins and score-based wins. You know, it could go 12 matches, but first one to 13. So there it is, 255, 228. That's essentially what I recalled. So Tara got that straightened out for them. And here we go. Now that Chronos clock, it's interesting. The pause button is in the top center, but it's flat. So it enables them, even though they're using a baffle box, they can still put the doubling cube on the center of the clock. And since that pause button is flat and doesn't protrude, then you don't have a problem with the cube activating the pause button. Okay, so this is getting down to, as we say, the nitty and the gritty. Okay. 5-4 is going to make that anchor. Frank is going to play the 8 and then to the 10. Otherwise, he's just stacking checkers everywhere. That makes the 3. So now we're 3-way, 4-way score. So cube decisions become increasingly significant as we get closer to the finish line here. Frank counting it and decides the proper play is to the 8 and the 10. He's going to have a little bit of trouble clearing those 2 back checkers at some point in time here. He's got a fair racing lead, which is going to give Fernando a bit more timing to hang back and try it. Yeah, that makes the deuce. Yeah, and then the question was the 4, and Frank makes the 10-6 play. Aces for Fernando. It's shifting to the 9. Yep, okay. 3-2 for Frank. That's obviously the 3. Then what's the deuce? The deuce is to the ace as far as Frank's concerned. Nice set of 5s. If the back checkers don't move. So this will be interesting. Give Frank a little bit more flexibility to try to escape those rear checkers. Makes it a little bit more burdensome now for Fernando to get his 2 rear checkers out. 3-1, more or less forced. Aces plays well. And sad now the 4th ace he slots. Could have played 8-7, but sliding's probably fine. Bad number for Frank. Not at all a good number. Doesn't want to leave us blots if he can help it. Fernando's got a pretty decent structure on his side of the board. So Frank, what's he going to play? 6-3 and make the 3-point, giving Fernando an ace. Fernando needs 4s and 6s to cover the deuce, so Frank can't provide any duplication to that, so he plays it in this fashion. 5-2. Okay. Sixes. That will work. Just what the doctor ordered, as it were. Well, now, Frank. He's, wow. He's well ahead. But does he put the cube in play here? If he does, then Fernando's faced with a fairly difficult decision, my estimation. I think I'd be a bit surprised to see Frank send it, but and as we've been forecasting, they're both getting a little tight on the clock. So, whoa, what was that? Oh, at 140, it switched to total number of seconds. That was weird. But that's what it did. When it went under 100 seconds, which was 1 minute and 40, it switched to purely seconds and tenths of a second. So I haven't seen that before. Okay, so now this is a tough decision for Fernando. He lets it go. Now,
Clock reads in seconds
and he lets
after
it go.
2 minutes?
It's 2-way, 4-way. Yeah, Frank's confused by the clock
Oh, then
now.
it just shows seconds. Okay.
Show seconds.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so Tara's explained what happened and what it's showing. It caught my eye immediately. I'd not noticed that before. That's a Chronos clock, and those things are difficult to get. We just acquired a couple of them recently, and she's using one of them here on the stream, and that's that was new to me. Okay, 2-way, 4-way, which we all recognize. I mean, if Fernando gets much of a hint of a Gammon potential, then he's going to be perhaps sending that away. Yeah, I told him when it hit a minute 40, which was 100 seconds,
Right.
it went to seconds.
Turns into seconds.
Yeah,
Just for one.
I noticed it.
Okay, very good. Thank you. 'Cause
Yeah, no, it caught my eye, but then I realized what it did. Yeah, and I informed them. Okay, 196 viewers. We're losing a few to the UBC final, doubtlessly, but those of us who are still watching this match are being treated to a phenomenal match. Okay, so now it's caught Fernando's eye too. They're both under 100 seconds, so it's showing just totally seconds, even though neither of them are less than a minute yet, which is what perhaps we are accustomed to seeing go to tenths like that. But so be it. Once we experience that and realize what it's doing, then it's not a big deal. Okay, Frank gets a 3-1. Now that's interesting. Now what's he do? Does he could put 2 up? Certainly some advantage to that, but again, now Frank is under a minute, so he shouldn't be confused in the least. 4-6 by Fernando. What does he do? I think you come out, and probably that's the better choice. It makes it a little more difficult for Frank to navigate. Okay, double tiger. Is that the appropriate term? I'm not totally sure, but hitting 2. Fernando gets them both in. Frank's gonna make the 4 and play 8-7 or a 13-7. I'm sorry. Six, 5, long run. Threes, very good. Now this game is shaped up such with Fernando with the 24-point anchor. Frank's just gonna play on for some time for the Gammon. He only needs 2 points, and he'll milk this position for all it's worth to try to win a natural Gammon here, and doesn't have to put the cube in play and give Fernando the recube big to play for the match himself. Frank very carefully trying to best position his checkers. Fernando playing rather rapidly, which is not surprising, but it seems as though he's a little bit more concerned and aware with the clock than perhaps Frank is. But okay, now does he clear the 7? Or does he play 9-4? He clears the 7, which I think is probably right. That takes away the potential to blot on the next roll. Gives him the 6-2. 6-5 makes the deuce point. So now Frank just plays on and hopes he gets fortunate to get a Gammon out of this. Okay, 4-1. Kind of interesting. I think you take one off and play 6-5, although Frank's going to go ahead and pre-clear the 6 in a certain regards. It's this is tricky. I mean, Frank could point on that checker now, and he does, and now there's some definite gammon potential here. Six one opens up to 6. Now Fernando can roll a 6 in the next couple of rolls, then he can preclude the gammon. But as long as he stays on the in the air, it's still in play. That was not a particularly good number for Frank. That's a much better number from Frank's perspective. And Fernando needs to get in. Fernando doesn't get in. 6-5 now. Frank would like him to get in now. He does. Oh, but not like that. Okay, so saving is back in play here in a big way. He's going to save this. Okay, so there it is. So 10-7 Frank. Crawford. 46 seconds for Frank, 88 seconds for Fernando. It's been a great match. I've been thrilled to be able to call this one. They're both laughing and chatting and having a good time with it, but here we go. And of course, this is a Crawford game. First time someone within one of the match length. The cube cannot be put into play. So now the thing that would be important here for Fernando is to win a gammon. Then he's 2 away and can win in 1 game cubed. Conversely, the important thing for Frank is not to get gammoned. So to keep Fernando, should he win, to keep him 3 away going into the next game, and he couldn't win on a single game on a 2 cube. So a gammon go, gammon save sort of situation. And they're playing, they're not in terrible time jeopardy, although it seems to be bugging Fernando a little bit more than it does Frank. Nice set of 4s. See, do you kind of come to the 9? That's a really nice roll. 4-3 comes to the 10. Now, Fernando's going to be doing a little construction in his home board over there. Okay, he's not certain. I think you slot the 4, play that 9-8, slot the 4, and make the 23. I think that's the play. Okay, huh? Come in if you want. Chris Trencher sitting down with me here. This has been an incredible match, and as you can see, here we are, Crawford 4-way.
And Frank has 45 seconds, is that correct?
45 seconds to 73 seconds.
For Fernando, so they're playing quasi-speed here.
And I guess, and probably for a couple of reasons, Fernando seems to be more aware of the clock, and part of that is, you know, he's going to have to win 2 or 3 games, so potentially.
Yeah.
So he's, you know, a little bit more time pressure than Frank is.
Frank's certainly in a good situation here. He obviously had, with Fernando being 4 away, Frank wants to win, of course, but he wants to make sure that if he loses, he at least doesn't get gammon, because then Fernando will have to win 2 more games rather than getting to 10-9, you know, post Crawford, which is de facto DMP. Fernando's a little short on timing here.
A little short on timing and a little short on time.
Yeah, and that was a unkind roll by Frank. So he'll bring that down and probably 13 to 9. Frank like
Yeah.
to roll. Frank would like to roll some aces and twos to unstack that 6 point. All right, Fernando comes
3-1.
in with both.
But his structure's good enough. Frank get
Oh,
whoa.
well,
That's I was going to
that's,
say Frank can't get too frisky, but
Frank
doesn't have to get
Frank-
frisky when you
Yeah,
roll.
just now he could. I don't think he should switch from the 4 point because Fernando doesn't have the time for a 1-2 game anyway. So I just play 8-5, 6-3 with the rest of the roll. Yeah.
Okay.
Now
so,
you can go ahead
so-
and make the ace point if you roll the right number to
yeah,
do so.
and Fernando is
And he does not.
happy in the short term to dance, I guess, because he
Yeah, yeah.
he
Oh,
maintains his board.
Fernando would prefer to dance and roll a deuce. That's for sure.
Yeah, maintain his board and
Hope, that
hope
Frank
he
doesn't-
gets lucky.
Yeah. Well, Frank again didn't roll the combination to make it.
Do you
So-
clear the 7 here?
He could clear this. Actually, I like clearing the 7 better than what. Oh, this is awful. You can't do that.
Okay,
Now he's got some bad 5s and bad 6s. I think he should
Yeah.
have cleared the 7.
I think he should have cleared the 7.
There's no reason not
and
to.
maybe it's a little bit of the
Oh,
time
and there it is.
pressure. There it is.
There it is. Frank just. Oh, this is a shot. And
Yeah.
the 4 opens another block. He's
It's
got
a
no
double.
play here. He just got massacred for that 2-1 play.
Okay,
No, and-
play it this way.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
that makes sense.
Now Fernando could actually win a gammon if he rolls 5. There's a few gammons here. Wow, what a turn of events here.
What?
Frank made a mistake and just
Clearing.
paid in horrible fashion, but comes back with a super joker. This is easily his top 1.
Okay,
Now-
so Frank
Frank needs the 6, and
needs
he
the
gets 6 right away.
and it's like collar roll here.
Fernando's thinking, I thought Frank was about to get punished for that sequence, and he just calmly rolls the 2-2 followed by the 6.
Okay, so Frank's in a great position, but not a gin position by any means.
I think he should. That's all right. Only 6-4 leaves a shot.
Oops. Oops.
Clear the
5-2.
6. Could get into a little
This
bit of
is
squeeze if
the
he can't
key
fill this
roll
there.
right
Oh,
here.
right here.
There it is.
Wow.
Oops,
right.
there it is.
All right. And it will still win most of the time when he hits here. Probably bring that builder to the 4 point. Yeah.
And then he's got to just start flooding the outfields for the containment.
All right. Yep. Fernando just wants to fill the outfield before Frank can come in with a 2 and a 6. Oh, he can make the deuce point.
He can make the deuce point.
Yeah, he
but
probably should do that because it's easier to get one guy around to fill in the bar than to. Yeah, I like this. All right. Now Fernando just wants to
Fernando.
get one guy around.
okay, bring it into range.
He could play 20-11 and give himself a direct 4,
Right.
though obviously 4-1 and 4-2 wouldn't be any good. Take one more guy off, but now he has no direct. Oh, and Frank rolls the 1-6.
Oh,
Frank refuses to go down.
wow. Okay, so
Yeah, what does he do? Does he split? I think he's
Yeah, I
got to
think
split
he's
2019.
split.
You
I think
can't
he's-
stay stacked there.
yeah, I
Hope
think-
that Fernando doesn't roll an 8. Oh, when Fernando rolls,
4-3,
Four.
so he's going to go to the ace.
I think he's got to play to the ace, but there's only so many checkers to
So
burn.
what's that?
Frank-
4, 7,
sevens,
8.
and 8s, and that is a
That's
4.
4 the hardest way.
They all count. They all count. All right. Frank's had about 8 lives in this game. Can he find a 9th? I mean,
Okay, now maximum containment for Fernando here.
yeah. Now Fernando should slot the bar with a 4 or 6. There's the 4. Good. All right, 3 up is good for Fernando.
Okay.
He needs a 6, and not
Nope,
yet.
but he takes
gives himself
that.
the double
Nice
cover, good.
4s and 6s.
Good. All right, and now Fernando should. Oh no! One more chance for Frank.
How many 1-6s are in that cup?
1-6 and 1-1 will pick it past with the spare.
1-3. Okay, now
That's-
Fernando needs
Fernando
a
needs to
4,
come up with a
6,
4.
9,
And finally the
9,
6.
and a 6. So either way. Okay, so
Now Frank's going to leave a shot with. Oh, that's a great shot.
that's a great roll.
I mean, Fernando doesn't need to pick up second checker to win, but obviously if he picks up a second checker, he's got some gammon chances. So that 1-3 was a huge shot for Frank in reducing gammon.
Uh-oh.
But this is a disaster.
There it is.
4. All right. And if Frank doesn't roll an ace here, Fernando should immediately hit, including with a 6, and leave that guy slotted. It's well worth the risk to try to lock down the gammon with a third checker.
Right.
All right.
Now bring that one
All right,
out.
and
Okay.
He's got plenty of time. Don't cover if Frank doesn't roll the ace.
Well, and if Frank does roll the ace, he's got the chance to pick up the third
All right,
checker.
No. Bring the 5 in.
He could have played for the third one.
Yeah. I think with Frank literally having a 1-point board, I think it's right to play for the third one, because now you're just at, normally with 2 checkers closed out, it's 40%, but given how aggressive Fernando can play here, and this is a bad number, I would have put him closer to 50%, but now from here, it's only going to be
That's a
mid-40s.
nice number to
That's
make up
that's
for
a
the
nice
prior
comeback
bad
to the
number.
All right,
Yeah.
so Fernando's probably about between 45 and 50% here, taking into account how aggressive he can play. All right. Don't use a lot of time on this. Just play as aggressively as possible. All right, Frank saves the gammon. Okay.
So, here we go. Crawford.
And after all this, nobody's happy. Fernando wanted a gammon. Frank wanted to win the game, and they're both going to go home on happy campers.
Although they both dodged some bullets within that as well.
Yeah. All right. So we will be 1 away, 3 away.
Yeah.
Crawford.
This has been a great match. Great match. I mean, Frank, obviously, 2-time world champion, and Fernando has become quite an accomplished player over the last few years.
Quite accomplished. I think is he a GM now? I think he's a BMAB GM. Certainly plays like it. Nobody. Definitely a greater player that nobody sits down thinking they're better than 50%.
Okay, does he play games or does he just send this?
If I'm in this situation that Fernando's in, I just double right away, because I just feel like I'm probably more likely to forget and let them.
Yeah, and you're not gonna.
And you're not gonna fool a world champion, and I mean, if I was Fernando, I would just double and then
Now it's a very volatile position now.
try to make the game more complicated. All right, hit him on the 3-point. Just hit him on the 3-point. You want a complicated game here if you're Fernando. Just hit him. Don't stack the checkers. No. This doesn't produce gammon. I don't like that.
And it doesn't.
I don't like that. I didn't like that.
No, I didn't
play
like that at all. Because you want to get it in a very volatile position.
Yeah, and you don't mind getting in here. You've got the anchor.
Then you got the couple of different
you're
options.
already a million pips behind in the race. Mix it up. Now he'll do it, but there's only one guy back. All right. Frank does not have a good 6. He's got to just lay it there. Now Fernando's got some nice numbers here. 5-3, 6-3, 5-1, 6-1. Double 5s. Great shot. Make the ace point. And now he's got Frank on the run if Frank can't anchor here. And if Frank doesn't anchor, he doesn't have a lot of time to think about the plays. And only Frank stays out.
Yeah. Frank.
Oh, he takes
I'm
it.
surprised a little bit, but
Well, problem is he doesn't have much time to think about it.
that's true too. Well, he can pick up the third checker.
Could do that and then just play the 3 down to the 10-point.
Yeah.
Just play the 3
Just
down to the 10
go
point. You
for
want to
the-
max it.
go
No,
for-
you want to
go
max
for the
gammon.
gusto, man.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
dance.
Yeah,
Oh,
now not having that builder on the 10-point is
this could get
huge.
ugly.
All right, yeah. All right. Let's go.
Go
15-10.
to the
15-10. That guy
no,
should
go to the bar, huh? Have the extra cover for the
So-
deuce.
There's a checker that went to the bar. Right. Frank gets the 2 he desperately needed. Fernando, I come in and play 8-7. Still got 2 on the roof.
Right.
Fernando needs to be. Fernando's
Why?
had several plays. I think he just needs to be playing this more aggressively. Again,
Dance. That's Frank's second or third 3-6.
Yeah. And there's the 5-4 that would have made the deuce point. Fernando's just gotta play this a little bigger. Stop worrying about Frank's jokers off the roof. And Frank again gets the 2 when he desperately needs it. Fernando's
again.
Play 8-7. Let's go.
Gotta be.
Let's go. Come on. This is an automatic play. I mean, he's too good for this. Okay. But that not playing it before really hurt because he would have made the deuce point. Switch both.
Switch both. Yeah.
Or hit 2 from the 8 point, one or the other.
Well, do you switch both from the 6, or do you switch? You could switch 3-2 as well.
Oh, hang on 1 sec. Everyone's hitting for you. There we go. All right.
Might be better to make the 5 and the 2 because then your builders can access the 4. If Frank anchors here anyway, you've kind of got a messy game. So
I like to 5-2 shifts, but
I hit 2 checkers here. I hit on the deuce and on the 6. He's just got to go for it. There's no way to play this position small if you're Fernando. He's already hurt himself by playing it too small before.
Okay, so he's seen the error of his ways, perhaps, and 3-1 dance. Whoa.
Frank is just mailing this in with these rolls off the roof.
3-5, ugly roll.
All right, hit the 3. Let's go. Hit the 3 and 5 out.
Tick, tick,
If Frank comes in with one guy, you can come in off the roof and hit him again or make a point. Hit the 3. No.
Oh, man.
No, come on, Fernando. He's too good for this. I played him before. Well, in this case, it wouldn't have worked, but...
Well, I predicted several games ago that this was going to get into time trouble for both of them.
This is a brutally complex position to be playing with 20 seconds left.
And the game on the line.
The whole match on the line. Now Frank doesn't mind this exchange. If Frank can roll a 2 here and he double anchors, there it is. Now Frank is loving this game now because he double anchors. Fernando's never getting this position home easily. Now Frank can try to play a forward position, build a little structure behind it. Fernando's anchor. All right, now maybe he can make the bar or the 4, and all of a sudden Fernando's got a little bit of an inflexible position. Okay, make the 4. Probably just slot the deuce. Just slot the deuce. Maybe better 5. And now Frank does have a few ugly numbers here. Or Fernando has some ugly numbers here. 6-1. I mean, he can make his own bar, but that doesn't do anything if he brings the 6 out.
Well, if he hits, though, he doesn't
got
have
to hit,
the 6.
and now he's got to come off the anchor. All right.
Yeah.
You don't make time, Fernando. Let's go.
Yeah. Don't let that hand hover long.
Yeah. Now Frank's got a dominating position because Fernando is just too stiff, and Frank's just got to watch his own time here.
Whoa, come on, Fernando.
Yeah, Fernando's not going to be happy with the transcript on this one because he knows he'll see that he should have split that ace and played that blitz much more aggressively when he had Frank on the run. Okay.
Sixes.
All right. No, don't touch the back anchor. I probably just 13-6. Just 13-6. Hope he doesn't roll 3 or 5. No. Oh, jeez.
Like asking for it.
I don't like that at all.
Got to hit him.
Now you give him a bunch of loose numbers. Now if Frank fans here, all of a sudden he's in trouble. All right, he gets in and out. But the problem is now Frank now has a long containment game in which he doesn't have a large margin for error. Before he had a 2-5 back game against a gap to prime, where it would be very, very difficult for Fernando to get it home. So even though Frank got away with it on the 6-3, I don't love the play of coming off the deuce anyway, even in hindsight.
Okay.
All right. So now Fernando has got his structure. Oh Jesus. Oh, the 3 hits. Okay. So 3 and then 2 across. No, that only gets hit by double 5s. You lose that. No, you mostly lose any. Actually, double 5s would leave a double shot, but I still would have played around 14-12. All right.
Okay. Fernando 2-6.
right.
Nice number.
Just come out. You got control of the game now.
Uh-oh.
Oh. Well, Frank's got to play a log containment game. Okay, that's the guy. The 2 comes in for sure. 2 comes in for sure. That's fine. Yes, that 3. No, that 3. Bring your 2 in. There you go.
I think you're seeing the time influence on both
Yeah.
of them here.
Yeah, all right. All right, 6 down from the bid. And then, no, not that 6.
No.
That's fine. That's fine.
That's okay. I would have played it to the 7 and then
Yeah, the builder,
15,
the
7
builder
and 15.
belongs on the 7 more than the 8, but this is okay.
Got to go for it. Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking that was Fernando's roll, but okay. So Fernando needs 3 big. Nope.
There you go. Oh, that's the game.
Okay, that should be ball game. What a great match.
Yeah.
Not at all. Not at all. I've been paying
Yeah,
attention.
I mean, the PRs are going to be bad here, but I mean, realize I came late, but I mean, this was an enormously complicated position to play under time pressure, throughout most of the early game, and so you saw some plays that these guys wouldn't, and some errors that these guys wouldn't make under normal circumstances.
Okay, so
I think Fernando in particular is going to be unhappy when he sees the transcription because he should have played that blitz much more aggressively early on. I mean, it's just straight game and go.
okay, I'm going to hopefully we're going to have another match here at 3 p.m. And since it's already after 3 p.m., all the Monte Carlo matches have probably started, except whomever's waiting on Frank Frigo. So we may have Frigo again by default.
Well, I think the next match starts at 3. Official time slot is 3:30, so we're not late yet.
Oh, I thought it was 3.
No, oh, maybe you're right. I thought it
Maybe
was-
I don't know. I hope you're right. That it's 3:30, but
All right,
then we'll have more options. But if not, we're probably stuck with Frank and whomever his opponent is. But which is,
Frank's gonna
Frank's
wrap it
good
up.
entertainment. Okay, guys, I'm going to step away real quickly and
They're
look at our
shaking
bracket.
they're shaking their heads, commiserating over what a crazy game this was.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll be back very shortly. We'll have another match here.
All right,
and-
I have to go play, so thank you for having me.
Well,
but
thank
I
you
will,
so much, Chris.
I will rejoin later on. I
Yeah.
always, like I was saying, I don't like to be on the commentary too soon because the way backgammon
That-
tournaments work is the people who've lost early go and criticize the people who are still winning.
And we UBC final is over on the other channel on Stream 1. And I'll be right back with hopefully another match here on Stream 2. So
All right.
y'all stay close.
Okay, thanks everybody.
Thank you much, Chris.